Hey everyone, I'm Carly Jones with LexJet. Today we're diving into two amazing Epson printers that make stepping into dye sublimation easy, the SureColor F170 and the 570. Whether you're a creative hobbyist or running a small business, these machines can unlock some really exciting projects. Joining me are three fantastic guests: Lily Hunter from Epson, our dye sublimation guru; Aaron Churchman from Chromolux, who will show us just how many cool things you can print on; and LexJet's own Liliana Wright, who's here to share tips, tricks, and a few don'ts that could save you a lot of headaches. Thanks for being here, everyone. Are you ready to get nerdy about sublimation?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Woo! All right, Lily, let's start simple. For someone just discovering dye sublimation, what makes the F170 and F570 such a perfect starting point?
Well, both the F170 and the F570 are both purpose-built printers. They are purpose-built for sublimation. So what that means is you can start doing dye sublimation right out of the box. It is already loaded with dye sublimation inks. The colors are going to come out right away, the way that you want them. They're already dialed in, and you can start making things and having fun with dye sublimation. So it takes out a lot of guesswork.
And honestly, who are these printers really for? Could a weekend hobbyist get amazing results, or is this more of like a small business type of play?
Actually, anyone can get started with it. It is such a small footprint. It is low cost. If you are a hobbyist who just wants that creative outlet to create gifts and goods for friends and family and schools or churches, you can definitely get started with it.
And people always ask me, Carly, do I need a PhD to set this up? So what comes in the box, and how easy is it to actually start printing once the printer shows up?
Well, most of us don't look at instructions when we get it out of the box, but very quick and easy. No need for a PhD. And I heard this from some of our sales guys, so it's no knock or shade on them, that if they can set it up, anyone can set it up. So basically, you bring it out of the box, you plug it in, you add the inks, and turn it on, and it'll just start inking up. And then you just download the drivers, and you're pretty much set after that. Very easy, no rocket science, no PhD needed.
Perfect. That sounds like my kind of printer.
Exactly. And we make it easy for our customers in regards to what comes in the box, other than the printer itself. Well, for the F170, you will get a full set of inks. So that's 140 milliliter bottles of CMYK that you get out of the box. So that will keep you printing for quite a bit. So what I mean by that is, so for instance, this tumbler here. Say this is all that you do is make tumblers for gifts for everyone. You could probably get up to 2,500 of these tumblers with your first set of inks. So if you print smaller graphics or even larger, so just estimate from there. And of course, if you do certain things like school colors that has a lot of, say, blue and gold, you're probably going to use more cyan and yellow first and the other colors. But other than that, you're going to get a lot of usage out of it. So that's the F170. The F570, you get two sets of inks, and we also throw in 3 rolls of paper. So there are 2 rolls that are 17 inches wide and a roll 24 inches wide. There's an extra maintenance tank, and there is also a workflow software that you can use as well. So now that can get you going for quite a bit as well.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's awesome. It sounds like you're ready to rock and roll as soon as you get that printer in. Very cool.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So Aaron, I have a question for you. Once someone has their Epson printer up and running, one of the most exciting parts is choosing what to print on. Can you walk us through some of the most popular Chromolux and Unisub products that work well with these printers?
Well, of course. I mean, between Chromalex and Unisub, we manufacture over 500 different products. You really are only limited by your imagination and the size of your heat press. With Chromalex, any of the photo panels in high gloss white is really kind of just most popular. We go as small as 5x7, all the way up to, again, limited by your heat press size and the width of the printers. With the F170, you can go 8x10, 8x12, and with the F570, you can go, again, as small as 5x7, all the way up to 20x30. Again, only limited by the width of the printer. For Unisub, we offer coasters, ornaments, mini license plates are very popular, bag tags, and magnets.
So Chromalex has become known for its high-end photo panels, but there's a huge range of sublimation blanks out there. What are some Chromalex or Unisub products that people may not realize are available to be customized using dye sublimation?
So Chromalex and Unisub are really two-dimensional products. So expanding into different finishes and substrates would be something that people may not know that Chromalex offers. Chromalex offers 3 different gloss levels: matte, satin, and a high gloss, and also in 2 different coating finishes, white and clear. And the white coating is truest to a photograph that people are kind of used to. In the substrate category, we have products in different woods and in different thicknesses, as well as steel with some magnetic properties in it, and plastic.
Awesome. So Liliana, you've been deep into the dye sublimation world lately. What are some products that you swear by?
And I'll echo what Erin said. From the very beginning, I've tried so many different products online, and you kind of go through the whole phase of learning the different product and what works. And I really do love the bag tags, the gloss. It's so beautiful. And of all the ones I've ever tried, the color just pops so much. And this is one of the samples that I have that I actually had made a mistake on. And then when I redid it, I was like, wow, I am hooked on these. So I have a whole batch of these, and they're one of my most popular products. And then also the ornaments. They are huge sellers. Okay. They really are. They're so beautiful. Like I said, I love the gloss, and it's just so vibrant and just durable, and you can travel with them and you can ship them, and they're just really wonderful. I love these. And also, I will say the coasters are very lovely. We've used those also for the different events that we've done, like the different expos and different things. So those are really nice ones to travel, and they really showcase the graphics really well.
Very cool. So you've seen it all. What are some rookie mistakes that people can avoid?
So many. But it's part of learning, right? It's trial and error, and you learn how to use your machines and your printer, and you figure it out along the way, and that's the fun of it. Now, I will say, when I started, it's not fun. It really isn't. It's frustrating. But if you're part of a group, like a Facebook group or someone that can guide you through it, it's excellent support. They kind of tell you, it's okay to make a mistake. Just keep going. Here's a way to tweak it and make it better. So I'll show you. One of the first mistakes I ever made was going online and finding the heat tape. I thought all heat tape was the same. Yep. Oh, it is not. If you buy a wrong one, really, they leave the yellow mark on your substrate, and it's on all these beautiful substrates, you just mess them up and they're trash. They really are useless at that point. So that's very important. Check the reviews for sure. Make sure that you're getting a good quality one. And another mistake, that I always hated, was being able to print it perfectly. You think you're aligned. And for example, you get to the end of a mug and you tape it, but you didn't tape it enough, and it was not sticky enough. And when you put it in the heat press, in your mug press, you put it in there and you don't flip it enough, and you can see the fading. And that's so devastating when you have this beautiful design that you're so in love with and it didn't come out right. And you can't redo it, because once you lift it, it's over. If you do it again, you'll get ghosting. You just can't match it. So that's kind of a wasted mug there. Another mistake, this one pains me. I was so excited to get this really cool graphic, and I thought, I'm going to try my first tumbler. And I did it, and I was perfect. And then I didn't realize I had overlapped on the wrong side. I did the white instead of the graphic, where it was seamless. And now I have this error that I drink out of every day to remind myself, don't do that again. And then one other, I'll mention one more about basic, just basic errors is when you get your substrate, a lot of them have this adhesive little backing that you may miss. You may not even see it's there. And I burned mine and I could smell the horrible burn in my garage thinking, oh my gosh, something's on fire. And it was me. I had forgotten the protective cover. So that's really one of those things that you can really avoid. And people will tell you, don't forget that. And the last one that I have that everybody seems to forget, sometimes you don't have to mirror the image. It prints, especially if it's like glass from under, you don't need to mirror anything. So forgetting to mirror or not mirror, that's also another mistake that'll cost you with this really wonderful substrate that you're trying to, work on and sell. And if you're in a time crunch for production, that'll be a time killer for you. So don't make those mistakes.
Perfect. Thank you for those quick tips. That's awesome. Lily, let's talk about growth. Say someone starts with the F170 and business picks up. How do they know it's time to step up to the F570?
Well, first off, as you step up to the F570, keep that F170 because it is still great for the one-offs and printing on, say, smaller sheets of paper, like say for mugs or something like that. So don't get rid of it. And the beauty of stepping up to the F570 is, well, it not only does it use the same inks, but now you're able to produce more. So this is where more production, the versatility of printing on sheets or rolls, so you can definitely gang up more jobs, or say you get a bigger heat press. So now you can make bigger things because you have up to 24 inches wide. So you can expand your product offering. And the neat thing of having both printers as you grow your business is that you're going to get the same color for the same job on both printers. So say you don't have a huge run of a specific mug, you just need to do one. And instead of printing on the F570, do it on your F170. So that's the beauty of having both as you grow your business and need more production.
Okay, awesome. So the real difference between these two machines, besides the size that you mentioned, what would those differences be?
Well, other than the size, the F570 is also going to print faster.
Okay.
So to help keep up with production. So it's not just a bigger printer, but it's faster. But you're going to get the same beautiful quality results and everything. So just think of it as bigger and faster older sibling. Or as I name mine, that is Miss Piggy, while the F17 is Kermit. Just different size.
I love it. That's awesome. Also, for someone totally new to dye sublimation, what's the learning curve like? How long before they can start making things that they would actually want to sell?
Well, just as Liliana said, there is a learning curve. And what I would also add to that I'll always tell people is, have a notebook with you. This is where you're going to jot down every little bit. It's almost like going to be your recipe of having the right time, temperature, atmosphere, in regards to the environment, not atmosphere, but the humidity level,
Yep.
And all these different things. And once you dial it in, it becomes like clockwork, or you'll start noticing, oh my gosh, that didn't come out a certain way. And you can figure it out. Oh my gosh, did I not press it long enough? Was there not enough pressure? What else was wrong? So there is that learning curve. And the beauty of getting into sublimation now is there are so many Facebook groups and forums, virtual events that can help guide you. So yes, you will make those mistakes in the beginning. A lot of us have made those mistakes that we would love to share with you. And that way you don't have to hopefully make those same mistakes. So get in touch with people, get into a community, learn from others. I was actually invited to a virtual sublimation summit to talk in a couple years ago. I'm going to be doing that again next spring. So lots and lots of resources. Now, at Epson, we also have resources as well. If you go onto our YouTube page, It's the Epson Print Academy. And just scroll down to Dye-Sublimation, and we have a variety of videos there for you as well, from setup to how-tos. And we recently launched a campaign called Make On. It features a line of desktop products for makers. What can you make on it? And so sublimation is part of it. So we have included information, what is needed, and information and resources as well. So there are lots and lots of help out there.
Yeah, it sounds like it. That's awesome. So, Erin, from the substrate perspective, what's your advice for getting the best image quality and durability?
So my biggest, I guess, advice I can give to beginners is clean, clean, clean. Make sure your panels are free of any kind of dust, adhesives, smudges, streaks. Also, make sure your transfers are free of all the dust, lint, and any other debris that could block that sublimation process, that heat transfer process. Ink-free blowout paper can also help kind of wick away any sort of moisture you may have. Getting the absolute best quality can be achieved by using a low and slow method. You can always preheat the Chromalex panels around 60 to 90 seconds. That can help, improve image quality, but that's not necessary. And then also removing the panels promptly from the heat press when the cycle is finished. That can prevent any sort of fuzziness or texture or even ghosting on if you're printing text or anything like that. Unisub and Chromalex, we have portals, resource portals that you can access for free, and that can also give you kind of recommendations on times and temps for all of the products that we offer.
That's awesome. It sounds like there's tons of resources everywhere to help people along the way. And can you give a few examples of items that tend to both wow hobbyists and small business owners?
So the main one is life events, a wedding, a baby, graduations, even memorials. I mean, that's a big market out there as well.
Yep.
School photos, that's a huge market. Sports, I mean, I have a daughter in competitive cheer, and I'm always printing her cheer photos, as well as semi-permanent signage for indoors. That's also another great kind of avenue for hobbyists and probably business owners.
Lily, when it comes to workflow, are there any pro tips to make things run smoother? Things like firmware updates or weekly nozzle checks?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So just like you mentioned, firmware updates. They don't come often, but when you do see the notification, please do not ignore it. Do the firmware update. And also, do your nozzle check before you start any print job for the day. Just do that quick nozzle check, and that just ensures everything is up and running. Now, I do have to also say, where you put your printer as well as your paper, that makes a difference. So if you can, just make sure it's a nice environmentally controlled area where it's not too hot, not too cold, where it's not really humid. So our specs and brochures will tell you that right range. It's very forgiving. But like, say if you are in the Southeast and there's a lot of humidity going on during summer, and you have your printer in an area that the paper can absorb moisture, which can totally kill the results, because steam is an enemy to sublimation. You want to avoid that. But just make sure having transfer paper and printer in a controlled environment, dust-free, clean, that's always the best.
So when someone pulls their first prints off the printer and sees that slightly faded look, is it time to panic or not?
No, not at all.
Okay.
So that was the one thing that was so hard for me at trade shows, when I would have my Dye-Sub printers next to, say, an eco-solvent or a UV printer, where those images would come out beautiful and vibrant. And then they look at my stuff and think, oh my gosh, should you be working for this company? Because your prints are horrible. And it's mirrored. So don't be alarmed. I always tell people, just wait for it. Printing is part one. I know it does not look impressive now, but the magic of sublimation takes place at the heat press, because with that heat and pressure, the colors are going to bloom as the inks permeate and dyes the substrate. So just wait for it. Now, when you print, even though it's mirrored for the most part, unless you're sublimating onto a clear acrylic, it is going to be mirrored, but you should see the fine details. So keep an eye out where, even though the colors aren't there and you have a lot of fine details and fine lines, you should still be able to see that. And that's what's going to transfer to your substrate as well.
Awesome. So patience is key with these.
Absolutely. Just wait for it. It will happen.
All right. Awesome. So Liliana, I love seeing all of the wild things people are creating with dye sublimation. What's the craziest things you've been seeing?
I thought I'd seen just about everything. And I saw a maker that had created her own child's bathroom shower curtain. And I thought, okay, how are you going to do that? Is it going to melt? Yeah. I really don't know how she did it. I want to watch the whole thing. So that one I'm kind of curious about. Mm-hmm. And then also the sunshades for cars, the ones that, open up and close. And I thought that would be actually really fun for advertising, but just, expressing your own, unique style. So I'm kind of curious about those too. So I don't know.
That's awesome. I mean, the sky's the limit with this stuff. That's so cool. So let's talk some troubleshooting. If someone doesn't sublimate correctly, what's the first thing to check before blaming the printer or the ink?
For me, it was always about, did I tape it tightly enough? And sometimes it's faded because you didn't really tape it tight. And so when you press it, it just kind of moved around. Or if you move it during the pressing, and you don't want to do that because it needs to have that time to bond. Right. So I know that's one of the big ones.
So Lily, the dye sublimation world is expanding fast. Have you seen any creative ways people are using the F170 or the F570 to grow their business?
Absolutely. One of the big things that I've seen is people using multiple tools, meaning sublimation printing is, say, just one tool in their toolbox of different ways to decorate things or cut things. So for instance, I have these examples. They are night lights. So I have a few that a friend has made. And what she did was she got these printable acrylic, they're Unisub products, and had them cut out. Oh, she cut them out into these different shapes. And then from there, did the sublimation. So I wish I could plug them in and show how gorgeous these are when they're actually lit up. So that was really neat. Now, this particular one, she did both, well, three things. Not only did she cut them into these cute tree shapes, but she sublimated on them, but she also did UV prints on them as well. So mixing all these different methods together have produced some amazing, amazing results.
That is so cool. I might need to make me one of those. That's awesome. So as we close, Lily, what's the most important piece of advice for anyone thinking about buying their first Epson dye sublimation printer?
Well, first off, don't be intimidated. This is a purpose-built printer. So we try to dial it in to make it as user-friendly as possible. If you have not had any printing experience, other than maybe printing to your inkjet printer at home, you can do this. So don't be intimidated. It is purpose-built. Out of the box, you can get the right colors, don't have to worry about maintenance. It is designed for dye sublimation. Once you're set up, you're ready to go, but please get involved in different forums and user groups and training. That will help ease a lot of pain as you share ideas with other people and learn from other people.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know the community is so important when starting these new things and getting into different different creative outlooks. Erin, for folks ready to create sublimation products, what's the must-try Chromolux or Unisub item that's guaranteed to wow?
That's a hard answer. I don't know if I can just pick one item that can, that makes that wow moment. But the one thing I will recommend is our high gloss white coated Chromolux products. I mean, that is our flagship product line. And so any of those products, any of those sizes that Chromolux offers, give it a try. I mean, it's really the coating that we apply to our products that really kind of helps make that vibrant image and the durability of the products. So yes, I would recommend high gloss white. High gloss clear Chromolux with the right image can really wow folks. An image with high color saturation looks really, really cool on the clear coated products because that metal shines through. Same thing with like black and whites and, images with some blues and greens in it. So yeah, those are my recommendations, but you really can't go wrong.
So, Liliana, what's one habit that beginners often overlook when they're starting this process?
I feel like I've noticed in a lot of the different pages in the forums that even if you have an amazing printer and the quality of the print is beautiful and the substrate's top notch, if your heat press or your source is not outputting correctly, it doesn't matter how gorgeous that image is, it's not going to come out right. It's going to ruin your substrate, which is what happened with me here. I love this back tag, but because I noticed my heat press was not coming out in the different sections correctly, I knew that there was a problem. So when I was able to replace it, then I was able to redo the batch. But that's one of those problems that you don't think about. You all immediately want to blame the print or the substrate, but sometimes it's the source of heat and you need it for sublimation.
All right, everyone. It's time to get creative. Grab your F170 or F570. Pick your favorite Chromolux or Unisub blank and make something that wows. Dye sublimation isn't just printing, it's turning ideas into keepsakes, gifts, and memories that last. For all your printer, media, and sublimation needs, visit lexjet.com or give us a call at 800-4LEXJET. Now, let's go make something awesome.